And you know what else it is today? It's my birthday. Whoa! Yay! I usually don't celebrate it like this, but I turned 50. So thanks everybody for being online. I know. And I want to say thank you to Misty for helping me get here today. It was a comedy of errors. And I was texting her like every 5 minutes and she kept me really calm and I got here on time. So you never get to see Misty. She's like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, but we couldn't do this without her. So thank you, Misty. And here we go. Let's do some yoga. Yay, thanks for clapping for me. I drank way too much coffee already. So who knows what's going to happen in these 45 minutes together. Watch out. Let's start on our backs. Of course, if you prefer to sit, sit. If you prefer to stand, stand. But coming on your back can be really nice. Helps you just let your whole body feel the floor a little bit. And then we'll take about half a minute to be nice and quiet, move around as you need to. Just allow your body, your breath, your mind to slow down. And then this gentle reminder that you have total agency over your practice. So if something is not feeling quite right, give yourself some extra time and space to take care of yourself. If you need to come back to this shape or any shape that is supportive, come back to that shape at any time during your practice. Can also be really helpful to practice mindful self-compassion, being nice to yourself, being kind and supportive to yourself. So with that, let's put one hand up on your chest and one hand down on your lower belly. And no need to change anything. Savor 2 or 3 breaths. And dropping out of your head into your body. On Tuesday, we worked with quieting down your chest and feeling the breath a little more down in your lower hand and your lower belly area. So it's really easy for us to be big chest breathers. So I'm going to let you on your own just explore what would it feel like to have less movement in your chest, maybe a little more movement down in your lower abdominals belly area. We'll take about 5 breaths. So you can still feel the breath in your chest. Maybe not as much big chest movement. You can still feel the breath down in your lower hand. And then we're going to encourage that engaged breathing. So if you're newer to class, engaged breathing happens down in your lower hand. And we're trying to find tone in those deep transverse muscles that are like your corset or cummerbund muscles. So muscles that wrap all the way around, front, side, and back into your spine. Okay. So when you exhale, see if your lower hand can feel a little of a hug feel, drawing in, knitting, and keeping some of that tone when you inhale. Let's try 2 more breaths. So full exhale Ribs, right side, left side, knit, draw together. Inhale, still some tone. One more breath. And at the end of this exhale, bring both arms down by your side and bring your right knee up over your right hip. So we've been working with action and resistance. So go pretty fast, just action, just straighten and bend your knee. Right? So you can go really fast without a lot of resistance. And then add resistance. Remember, your resistance can be anywhere from a 0 to a 10. When you add resistance, it's like you're in water, or you could imagine someone standing next to you trying to push your foot down and pull your leg up. Let's do 2 more. And then the next time your right leg is somewhat straight, it doesn't have to be totally straight. You might have really tight hamstrings. Honor those tight hamstrings, okay? The back of the leg might be tight up into your back, into your shoulders. Just hold your leg up and point your toe. And then you're going to take your right leg out to the right, just a couple inches. Now, this is going to become more about core strength. So try not to let the left side of your body pop up, and see how far you can take that right leg out. And then sweep that leg back up to the ceiling. Try 2 more. Left side, feel that grounded anchor on the left side. Take your right leg out and bring it in one more time. And then bring the leg up to the ceiling. Bring your left knee up over your left hip. Take your left leg up to the ceiling and your right leg back to the floor. Refine your shape. And then bend and straighten your leg pretty fast. Action, then add resistance. Maybe you're going to put that resistance at a 2 or a 5 or a 7. And then the next time your left leg is a little straighter than bent, pause. So what we didn't do on the right side, let's do it on this side. Right side is really heavy, right? You can feel that right back hip and shoulder. And then isometrically hold the leg with resistance. So your leg is a little more straight than bent, but imagine somebody's trying to bend your leg for you and you're not going to let that happen. Do you feel how that's a little more internal strength? See if you can keep that, and then define how far can you take your left leg out to the left and back in 3 times without that right hip popping up. So you got to use that right lower abdominal section to really help stabilize the right hip. You might push your right leg a little heavier into the floor. And then you're going to bring that left leg back up to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bring your right leg back up to the ceiling. Give your legs a couple moments to just hang out right here. Soften your chest. Soften your gaze. All right, bring your heels together. So see how when you bring your heels together, your feet make a little V? You can have bent knees. Okay, I'm going to do the first one really slow so we're all together. You're going to inhale, take your leg out or your legs out, and then you're going to go down, around, and sweep them back up. Okay, I would encourage you to go pretty slow. You don't want your lower back to pop up. Okay, so you're trying to keep your lower back down, heavy on the floor. Hopefully a little less tension in your chest, in your throat, and then you can reverse. Next time your legs come up, you can go down, out, around, and up, right? So a little circle can be really beneficial. 1 or 2 more. And then let your legs come all the way down. There's all kinds of good circles happening here today. Bring your legs down, let everything rest that can rest. And this again, as you come down, using the floor or the earth to help support you. 2 breaths. And then draw your knees up into your chest. Say something really nice to yourself as you give your knees a hug. And then we're going to come all the way on up to standing. So take your time. No, there's no rush. Whew. And then we'll come on up and take a wide stride. So heels in, toes out. So let's warm up your ankles, knees, and hips. So today, trying not to push your butt back quite as much in these sumo squats, okay? So we're just gonna go up and down, trying to keep your ears a little more stacked over your shoulders, over your hips. And then add resistance, 3 more. So remember, you can turn your resistance knob anywhere from 1 to 10. If you're really tight, you have tight muscles, your resistance might be at a 2. I have really loose joints, so I turn my resistance knob up quite high. Let's do 1 more. Great. And then when you come up, find resistance, internal resistance in your knees. Right? So there's probably a little bit of a bend. Imagine someone's trying to push you down, but you're not going to let them. Right, here comes your challenge. Lift your right heel. Lift your left heel, balance. Feel your corset cummerbund. And then the greatest challenge probably is to soften the chest. Left heel comes down, right heel comes down. Push your legs into the floor with resistance, stand up. Like you were in a warm water pool, sweep your arms out and up. Pull the water down and in. 1 more like that. Pull the water. Reach, like you could reach to touch the sides of the room. Great, here we go. Down, sweep up. Arms come down, stand. Sweep, 2 more like that. Great, go at your own pace. Great, 3 breaths. Let things hang out, let things rest. We're going to add a little piece. So come up, lift your heels. Okay, when you lift your heels, find the bottom part of your legs, your shins, and let your shins come forward a little bit. And then use the upper part of your legs, your thigh bones, to pull your shins back. Now, if having your heels up is too much, by all means, bring them down, okay? Shins go forward. Thigh bones pull back. 1 more time. Just feeling different parts of your body working together. Great. Add your arms. Shins go forward. Thigh bones pull back. 2 more. Sweet. And then we're going to step your feet together. Meaningful, short 5 breath meditation break. So drop back into your breath through your body. Give yourself 5 breaths. And feel your feet. You have about the same amount of weight in your toes as you do in your heels. Let your eyes open if they haven't. And then push your butt back, and we're just going to warm up your forward flexion. So just bending at your hips and coming up. If you want to go all the way over, we're just going to do 2 more. Feel free. You're going to push your hip creases, push your butt back. Go ahead, let your arms come all the way down, nice and strong through your lower belly, and come all the way back up. One more time. And then when you come up, just let your arms hang. If you're in the room, feel free to turn and look outside. Just enjoy the movement of the water, the spaciousness of the sky, and give ourselves 5 breaths. Hopefully that was close to 5 breaths. You can stay facing any direction you'd like. We're going to inhale, sweep your arms out and up and pause. Find that internal feeling of resistance in your legs. So starting at your knees, imagine, right, your shins going forward. You can feel your thigh bones, but imagine somebody's trying to really pull you down, but you're not going to let your knees bend. And then you're going to fold over with resistance. You don't just fall, you fold with resistance. And when you get over, then lift your collarbones, lift your shoulders, look out, exhale, fold, and then come all the way back up. Arms come up overhead. This time we're going to go to downward facing dog. So if you're at home and you want to use a table or a chair, walk in front of that table or chair. You're folding over. Strengthen the legs, pause. Little different, bring your hands up on your shins just one time. Push your shin bones into your hands. Push your thigh bones, push your butt cheeks back. So can you feel your shin bones going into your hands and feel your hip creases, butt cheeks going back with about the same amount of energy? Now lift your chest and look out in front of you. Maybe feel a little bit of a baby cobra, a little extension in your mid back. Now you're going to fold and step back, downward facing dog. So plant your hands. If you need to come down to table first, come to table. If you prefer to just stay in table, you can do that. Now look back at your legs. See how your shins come forward? Your butt cheeks and your thigh bones press back. Give yourself 2 breaths. With your next exhale, let your shins come forward with resistance. You're going to come forward to tabletop. Work a little bit like what we did on Tuesday. Look down at your hands. Can you feel about the same amount of weight from your thumb pad to your pinky pad? So the palm of the hand across is, kind of equally weighted. Strong in the upper back, shoulders down out of your ears, floating table if you want more challenge, lift your knees. Okay, now your thigh bones are going to push all the way back, downward facing dog. Got it, 2 breaths. Then with an exhale, hands and feet walk together. Like you were in water, pull yourself up. Arms go out to come up. Then pull your arms down like you were in water. Give yourself 3 breaths. Bring your hands to the front of your hip bones. Okay, we're going to try and lift the front of the hip bones up a little bit. So remember, you have a pelvic bowl. Okay, so the front of the bowl, we're going to try and lift the front of the bowl up. This is going to be unilateral leg work. You're going to put, say, 70% of your body weight in your right leg and only 30% in your left leg. So your left heel might come up a little bit. We're all really different. So using, again, corset cummerbund, pick up your left knee, pick up your left foot, and then you're going to step your left foot all the way back into a high lunge. Okay, feel balance. If you need to walk to something to use a wall or a prop, do it. Bring your hands back to your pelvic crest and lift the pelvic crest up. Okay, it's really easy for them to tip forward. So can you feel your pelvis like a bowl lifting up? Feel your corset cummerbund and then soften the chest. Just give yourself a breath. Decide where you want your arms to be. Thumbs can come together at your chest. You can take your arms up to the ceiling. Give yourself 2 breaths. With resistance, like you were pushing water away, fold all the way over, put your fingertips, hands to the floor, and you're going to step your left foot forward nice and slow. Come all the way back up. Bring your arms back down by your side. Give yourself 3 breaths. Quiet chest. Strong lower belly, low back area, strong legs. Unilateral leg work. 70% of the weight in the left side, 30% in the right side. Heel lifts. Maybe you pick up your right foot. Maybe you drive your right knee up. Stepping your right foot back, build your high lunge. Right heels up, lift the front of your pelvis. Got it. Balance. Use your corset cummerbund connection. Either thumbs at your chest or arms up to the ceiling. 3 breaths. Exhale when you're ready, like you're pushing water away, fold forward. Fingertips to the floor, pause. We didn't do this on the right side. Do you have strong fingertips? What's going on in your upper back? Can you feel your shoulder blades? Feel the strength in the upper back as you step your right foot forward. Come all the way back up, full body stretch. Arms down by your side. 3 breaths. All right, walking up towards the front of your mat. So if you want to turn your whole mat around so you can look outside, it might be really nice. It's pretty beautiful if you're in the space today. The sun's hitting the lake just the right way, right? It's not too bright. You don't need sunglasses. All right, here we go. Let's just start in standing mountain. Bring your mind back. Let it drop into your body. Give yourself a breath. Okay. Can you feel that internal strength and resistance all the way from your feet into your ankles, shins, knees, thighs, hips? Strength of the lower corset area, softness of the chest, ease in the gaze. We're going to exhale, sweep your arms out and up, reach, reach, reach. When you're ready with an inhale, fold forward, push your hip creases back, lengthen the spine. Right here and now, let your head hang. Okay, you're going to put 70% of the weight in your right side, 30 in the left, and see if you can just pick your foot up like 1 millimeter off the floor. And then you're going to take your left leg all the way back into a low lunge. Shoulders soften down. This might also feel a little bit like a runner's lunge. Fingertips on the floor. Maybe elbows to your knee to projected lunge. Right? Maybe's our progression, hands to your chest. You be you, you pick you. If you're at home or you're in the room and you need support, go by a wall, go by a ledge, use a chair out in front of you. 2 more breaths. Now you have to come to high lunge. Right? Lift your chest, maybe high five, maybe thumbs at your chest. You just move nice and slow. It's a balance. It's concentration. It's moving with your breath. Great. Then you're going to fold over and step your back foot forward. Come all the way on up. Pull your arms out to come up. Right away, fold over. Pause and breathe. Come back to your breath in your body. What do you feel? What do you notice here for a breath? Shift the weight into the left side, 70% of that weight in the left foot. Maybe even find that internal resistance feel. Lift your right foot. Can you lift it a millimeter? Step it back really slow. Find your runner's lunge. Your runner's lunge does not have to be my runner's lunge. Hopefully they're really different. Find yours. Take a couple of breaths. Find your high lunge. Use as much support balance as you need. Sweet, come all the way over when you're ready and step your right foot forward. Come all the way on up, full body stretch at the top of your mountain. Right away, fold forward. This time, step both feet back, build either tabletop or downward facing dog and let your low back have some space. Stretch, lengthen your low back. Right? If you find the action resistance piece really helpful, you can find that in your shins and thigh bones, knees. You can also find that in your arms. I'm going to take 3 more breaths right here. Go back to down dog if you're in a plank. And then we all have to figure out how we're going to come up to stand. So you do you. There's no race. Get up when you get up. Take a full stretch. And then a 3-breath standing meditation break. So you can take 3-breath mountain meditation breaks many, many times during your day. So give yourself 3 breaths. Great. And then we're going to step your feet wide again. All right. So as you step your feet wide, bring your hands back on the front of your hip bones. Try and lift those hip bones up, heels in, toes out. So we're going to do 3 sumos with equal weight on both legs. And add action and resistance. And then we're going to do 3 unilateral ones on each leg. So when you come up this time, 70% of the weight on your right leg. Only 30 on the left. Okay, so you're going up and down with a lot more emphasis of that right leg. Does that make sense in your body? Feel that difference? Woo! I'm already tired. Then 70% in the left leg and only 30% in the right. Does anyone else notice when you do the 70, like your left butt cheek is on fire? Is that just me? Woo! Great, and then maybe do one where you're equal again. All right, then when you come up, pause. Great, left leg's gonna roll in. Right leg rolls out. Okay, so hip points lift up. Lift the front of those hip points. With resistance, bend and straighten your right knee just 2 times. So you can feel that shin thigh bone movement. Next time your right knee's bent, pause. Great, now really feel that left leg anchor, nice and strong. Sweep your arms out and up to the ceiling. Keep your arms up and lift your pelvis up. Lift that pelvic bowl. Can you keep the feeling of lightness and lift in your pelvic bowl as you open the arms out into that warrior 2? Rotate your arms, palms face down, and then soften the gaze nice and easy over your right fingertips. Great. With your next exhale, feel your breath. Bring your hands to your hips. Going back to what we worked on last Friday, lift your left heel, internally rotate that left leg around and come back to your high lunge. Hands on your hips or hands up to the ceiling. Take as much time as you need, 3 breaths. You never have to stay with the group. It's really important. You check in and you do you. Hands back to your hips. We're going to tip all the way over. Bring your fingertips to your floor or the earth and step back. Downward facing dog or tabletop. Or straight arm plank. In any of those shapes, strong palms. So from the thumb to your index finger, you are really strong. Trying to find about the same amount of weight through the whole width of your wrist. 2 more breaths. With your exhale, back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands or your hands back to your feet, however it works for you. And then as much time as you need, come all the way on up. Take that big mountain stretch and bring your arms down by your side. Give yourself 3 mindful breaths. Mountain meditation. When you feel your next exhale, take a wide stride. Great. 3 sumos. Equal weight, right side, left side. 3 unilateral, 70% in the left leg, 30 in the right. Don't have to go very low. 70 in the right leg, 30 in the left. Using resistance. Great. And 1 in both legs. Great. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Lift that pelvic bowl. Just 2 times with resistance, bending your left knee and straightening. Next time your left knee bends, pause. Sweep your arms all the way out up to the ceiling. Lift the back ribs. Open the arms, warrior 2. You feel about the same amount of weight in both legs. Strength through your corset, cummerbund area into your upper back. Feel your exhale, bring your arms to your hips. Internally rotate that back right leg. Roll that right knee in. Find your high lunge. Take your time. Back heels lifted. Right? Maybe your thumbs come to your chest or your arms come up. Give yourself 3 breaths. Acknowledge, notice, try and be in your body. 1 more breath. Then reach and fold forward. Maybe you pick a downward facing dog, maybe a tabletop, maybe a child's pose. Just 3 breaths. And with your next exhale, we're going to come all the way down onto your knees and then all the way down onto your belly. Okay, now remember, I have a mic, so my forehead can't come all the way to the floor, but yours can. So if you're watching, try and get your forehead all the way to the floor and then just lift it up like a millimeter so your nose is just hovering. We're going to start by putting your hands down by your lower ribs and imagining you're at the bottom of a push-up. Now, give yourself a moment to just make contact with the shoulder blades. And take a moment to breathe into those shoulder blades. Can you feel, notice movement, feelings of breath under the shoulder blades? And don't forget about your corset cummerbund transverse abdominis strength. So you need to keep that corset cummerbund in your awareness. Tighten it up a little bit. And then when you're ready, stretch your toes back, lengthen your legs, all of those places. Inhale, lift your chest, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. All right, we're going to add a little piece. Push your pubic bone down into the floor. Lengthen. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. Lower. 2 more. Yeah, you can lift and lower like you were in water with some resistance. You feel your hands equally weighted, thumbs to pinkies. It's a great place to work with the wrist strength. Next time you lift your chest, pause. Look down at the floor a little bit and then push into your pubic bone. Maybe lift your legs. 2 breaths. And lower down. Just 2 breaths. All right, if that worked for you pretty well and you want a little something different, you're going to straighten your arms right down on the side and bring your palms up. If you like that place, keep your elbows bent, keep your hands on the floor. Okay, lift your foreheads, lift your nose, soften your gaze. Great, go long. How long can you feel? Crown of the head to your toes. Strong corset cummerbund. Lift your chest. Lift your legs, lift your arms, just a little bit. Arms only lift as high as your hips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Reach your arms back. So with your breath, inhale up. Exhale down. Great. 2 more. Rest when you need to rest. Locust pose up. Exhale, prone mount. You got it. 1 more, strengthening all those posterior back muscles. Great. If you want to come down or if you want to hold for a few breaths, you pick. You could come up and hold. You could come down and rest. You do you. Take a few moments. Lower down when you're ready. Hands can come underneath your forehead. Wonderful opportunity to breathe into your back. And we'll come back, trying to soften the chest a little bit. Breathe through your back. 3 breaths. And then with your next exhale, bring your hands back to your lower ribs, elbows up towards the ceiling. So back to that, like I'm at the bottom of a push-up shape. Curl your toes. Okay, you don't have to move here. In fact, we're not going to. 1, we're just going to visualize ourselves pushing up from a push-up. Okay? So, pushing up to a push-up might be really easy for you. It might be something you're like, what? That's crazy. So visualize it first, and then turn on all of the muscles you need to push up to a plank. And then do it. Push up, exhale, and push to tabletop or plank. You got it. All right, we're going to come to tabletop. We're going to take a big fork in the road right away. So from tabletop, you can push your bum back on your heels. And then you can pull your chest forward over your wrists. Study the wrists, equal wrist weight, and then you can pull your chest forward and you can look up like a version of upward facing dog. You push, right, and go back to say like a child's pose, okay? You can do this here on the floor with your knees bent. You can work with action and resistance, moving your spine through flexion and extension. So you might feel like a child's pose to a cat to a child's pose. Now, if you want a lot more, And you want to challenge yourself even more. Maybe, right, you're not quite satisfied there. You come to downward facing dog. You go to downward facing dog. You round your back up. You come to say like a plank, and then you pull your chest forward and up to an upward facing dog. And then you go up and back to a down dog, right? And then you kind of round and snake through to an up dog. And maybe both of those places are like, what is happening today? You're just going to rest because, right, knowing yourself and knowing you need rest is all self-care. Take care of yourself. Try a couple more rests when you need to rest. And then we'll all finish this round. Great. And we'll come back down to our knees. And then we'll have an easy seat. Whenever you get there, finish what you're doing. And we'll find crisscross applesauce. Take your time. If crisscross applesauce does not work for you, that's fine. Bring your legs out in front of you. And then just give yourself a moment to drop back out of your head. I'm going to be quiet. Just give yourself maybe 5 breaths just to listen to your breath. And quiet chest breathing. Bring some attention to your lower back ribs. See if you can feel your back ribs nice and spacious and wide as you inhale. Feel your ribs knit, draw together with your exhale. Your inhales, nice, spacious, wide back rib cage. Maybe even feel the breath under your shoulder blades a little more. Full exhale. One more breath like that. And then feel free to stay sitting right here, or if you'd like, take a really gentle, easy twist over to the right. Now, remember when we twist, we want to take the rib cage, not just your head and neck, okay? So see if you can feel your sternum rotate over to the right. And then just for a little bit of a challenge, take your gaze over the left shoulder and take 3 breaths. Then take your sternum all the way over to the left and your gaze over to the right. And let your chest relax a little bit. One more time, 2 breaths into those lower back ribs. And all the way back to center. All right, one big fork in the road, and then we're going to take the last few minutes for self-care. Let's just do a little bit of hip movement. So you can sit and do it like this. Let your legs drop both ways. I call this like the crustacean crawl. You would end up crawling across the room. All right. Or you can come onto the floor onto your backs, take your legs really wide, and let your knees drop like that. Okay. So this should not hurt your low back. All right. So either on your backs, letting your knees drop to the right and left, or from seated. We'll just do about 2 or 3 more to each side. And then we'll slow it all down and find a really supportive, easy shape. You could take a full body stretch, or you could do A little hugging in of your knees to stretch out your low back. We always take the last few moments of practice to take care of ourselves individually. So I'm going to be nice and quiet. We'll take about a minute, minute and a half here to just breathe. And as you're breathing, if you'd like to add gratitude to your practice, bring to mind 2 or 3 things you're extremely grateful for. Just taking a moment to recognize and breathe for each one. And coming all the way back to your breath. Let's take one inhale, one exhale. And then drawing your knees in and slowly making your way all the way over and up to sitting. Of course, if you're at home or in your office, you can stay in that Shavasana space as long as you feel like it. And then we'll come on up. We'll sweep our arms out and up and give everybody a high five. Woohoo! It's Friday. Thanks, everybody. See you Tuesday. And it's like super beautiful. Have a really wonderful weekend. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.